for the fans. The glory for the pinstripes.
A pitcher with a 0 ERA, 16 innings, no runs allowed, and the Yankees' name is in that conversation. Now, before you start calculating what that would cost for the rotation, for the team's future, for the farm system, take a pause. If you look closely at what's happened over the past few hours, this starts to make more sense than it seems. The Yankees have a rotation that has already raised eyebrows across the league, and now they're looking at Sandy Alcantara as a piece that could completely change the October equation. I'm Daniel Brooks, this is Yankees Fan Central, and today we're going to break down whether this move truly makes sense, or if the price will cost more than the team is willing to pay. The New York Yankees have their eye on Sandy Alcantara. This isn't Twitter rumor. These are sources within the league indicating that the front office monitored the Miami Marlins pitcher during the winter and continues to have renewed interest now that the season has started. And looking at what he's done so far, it's easy to understand why. 16 innings pitched, 0.00 ERA. 0. The guy hasn't allowed a single run. Now think about it. You're a Yankees fan. You know what the rotation has cost in the playoffs in recent years. You've seen what happens when the team reaches the postseason relying on 2 or 3 guys at most. And then a former Cy Young winner shows up with numbers like this right at the start of the season. The automatic question, why wouldn't we go get this guy? I understand the impulse. But here's where it gets more interesting than Alcantara's numbers themselves, the price the Marlins are going to demand and what that means for the future of the club. If you follow the Yankees closely, drop a like to support this kind of analysis. It really helps reach more fans who think about the game this way. Miami is not going to sell Alcantara cheap. He's set to hit free agency in 2026, so the Marlins have exactly one window to extract maximum value before losing him for nothing. What does that mean in practice? It means any trade package will involve top prospects. And when you talk about top prospects in the Yankee system today, the name that immediately comes up is Jason Dominguez. Dominguez is 22 years old, plays in the outfield, and is the kind of talent that shows up once a generation. The comparisons to Soto as a prospect aren't exaggerated. The speed, the contact, the power. This is exactly the type of player the Yankees develop in-house, so they don't have to rely on the free agent market forever. So the dilemma is clear. Do you trade a generational talent for a year and a half of Sandy Alcantara? Because that's essentially what it is. A year and a half, maybe 2 if the team manages an extension, but there's absolutely no guarantee he accepts. And on the other side, you're giving up someone who could be the centerpiece of your lineup for the next 8-10 years. I know what you're going to say. The window is now, Garrett Cole isn't 100%, and the rotation needs depth. Fair. But is it worth trading the future for the present when the present already includes Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and other arms in the system? And there's another angle here that not many people bring up. Do the Yankees really need another elite pitcher, or should they be looking at shortstop and third base? Because while we're debating another starter, the left side of the field still has real gaps. This is the question I ask every deadline. Does Brian Cashman prioritize glamour or necessity? Alcantara is glamour. He's headlines, he's baseball reference front page material, he's the name that impresses. But the team that goes deep into the playoffs isn't necessarily the one with the flashiest rotation. It's the one with the fewest holes in the lineup for opponents to exploit. And there's another layer to all of this. Today, the Yankees beat Miami 8-2 at Yankee Stadium. They dominated on both sides, with the bat and on the mound. That reinforces that the current roster has power. The question isn't whether the team is good. It's whether it's good enough for a real playoff run, or if it needs a surgical addition to close the gap with the Dodgers. Looking at it objectively, Sandy Alcantara is an elite pitcher, durable, an innings eater, someone who racks up complete games in a league where that's rare. If he's 100% healthy, he doesn't just reinforce the rotation, he transforms it into something that rivals any staff in MLB, including the Dodgers. This arms race is real, and the Yankees know it. But the price set by the Marlins will define whether this trade makes sense or not. If Miami asks for Dominguez plus 2 A-level prospects, the Yankees should walk away. If the package is more reasonable, the conversation changes. The key here isn't desire, it's negotiation. Cashman has a history of paying a high price in trades that seemed essential at the time and ended up costing years of system development. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. This specific decision will say a lot about how the front office views the current window, and how much they believe this roster is already enough to compete, or if something critical is still missing. Would you give up Jason Dominguez to secure Sandy Alcantara in the rotation, knowing it could be just a year and a half of control and nothing more? Drop it in the comments, because this is exactly the kind of decision that separates those who think about today's team from those who think about the next 5 years. Both sides have arguments. Tell me where you stand. If you follow the Yankees every day and want analysis that goes beyond the highlights, it's worth subscribing to the channel. We're here every time there's something important to break down.